respects people on the low. You understand? So the thing is, we have to understand when that argument is valid, and there's some people to put that argument on. The thing is, when it comes to old school funk black music, we have a bad habit, and I tweeted this earlier, and it went viral, and I know People Magazine picked up my tweet. A lot of times I just be tweeting shit, then it ends up going viral, and then it becomes a thing. And, you know, I didn't want it to become a thing. It was just a thought. It was just my retort on the way people think and the way people get down. Understand, the problem with us, with black people, we can't sit up and criticize the Bruno Mars and people like that, because we oftentimes will create something and then we'll abandon it. Because we're trendsetters, that's a gift and a curse. Black people, we are the trendsetters, but the thing is, we're so used to doing new things, and oppressed people are always looking for something new. This is why we create so much. When you are oppressed, you're always looking for something different, something to wiggle away from the oppression. So you're creating different art forms. You're creating different escape routes to a certain degree. You've got to look at the psychology behind creativity to a certain degree. With us and with the white supremacists. Understand, the white supremacists became creative because they were struggling. They were oppressed by the environment coming up out of the Ice Age. So they had to go around the world and be creative on how to dominate people and survive themselves. So they had to come up with creative ways. Now, when you are an oppressed people, you always come up with ways to alleviate the stress of oppression. This is why we create so much shit. We create jazz, then we abandon it. Understand that? We abandon jazz. When you say jazz now, you go look up any jazz fest around the country, you're going to see Kenny G headlining, Boney James. It's going to be a bunch of white groups headlining the Jazz Fest. Let's be real. Many blues concerts. Most of the people who go to Blues Fest are white audiences. It's white audiences going to blues concerts. That's why so many blues singers and many R&B singers, they had to go to Europe. Because the black audience, you hot and you trendy, but then you charge into the game, then it's on to something new. And we have a very bad habit of abandoning things that we create, and then other people pick up on it and capitalize off of it. And we're not there being the gatekeepers of it. You understand? We got to be the gatekeepers to a certain degree. Even with rock and roll, when you think rock and roll, you think of Aerosmith, Bon Jovi. They took rock and roll because we abandoned it. We created all that. Ike Turner, Chubby Checker, Chuck Berry, not Chubby Checker, but Chuck Berry, that's who I meant. Howlin' Wolf, all of these people, we created that and we just left it. Funk and R&B from the 70s, now feel me, music from the 70s, in late 60s, early 70s, James Brown in particular, we were the gatekeepers for James Brown to a certain degree because we kept his music alive through hip-hop. The hip-hop generation kept that James Brown sound protected. So we took back control of a lot of stuff from the 70s during the 80s and early 90s, the hip-hop community. So people couldn't come in and rape that genre. Like the 70s. You don't see white groups doing 70s style music or James Brown style music. You rarely see that. Because you got so many people in hip-hop who embrace that. You got so many people in hip-hop who embrace that. Parliament too. That's another thing, exactly, that Parliament funk from the 70s, Dr. Dre got that and said, well, we're going to keep that and we're going to call it G-Funk, but it's really Parliament. When Dr. Dre did The Chronic, he said that's all he would listen to was Parliament. So we got that sound, and we were the gatekeepers of it. We re-embraced it. So you don't see no white groups trying to even fuck with James Brown or no Bootsy or no Parliament as far as them playing it and taking that genre. Because people be like, oh, you being like Dr. Dre, or you trying to be like Snoop. We already got that. You understand? Warren G, all these folks. But when the 80s came around, you had that Kashif, you had the Alexander O'Neal, you had some real fly shit in the 80s. And we abandoned that for hip hop, for NWA, all that, the hip hop shit. And for the most part, we let that 80s sound just kind of sit there. Going into the 90s, that New Jack sound, we let that New Jack sound kind of sit there. Nobody's been fucking with that New Jack sound, that early Teddy Riley sound. We kind of let it sit there. Let's go back to the 70s again. Understand, with the 70s and early 80s, you had the Gap Band, Charlie Wilson. In the late 80s, early 90s, you had people like Guy, Aaron Hall, and R. Kelly. They brought that Charlie Wilson. They protected that sound. You understand? They protected that sound in the 90s. You dig? So if anybody was trying to emulate that Charlie Wilson Gap Band sound, they're like, oh, you're trying to be like Aaron Hall and R. Kelly. But now let's fast forward. Now we've abandoned that. Black people, we've abandoned it. So now you got these white groups that have jumped on it, and these non-black groups. I wouldn't even say white, but non-black groups. White too. But you got a lot of these groups. Daft Punk, whatever their name is. And I like them. I like their stuff. A lot of groups out of the UK, a lot of people are using that 80s sound now. Bruno Mars, a lot of people are using that 80s sound, and now the 90s sound. You dig? And let's go back to Detroit. And somebody made a good point about Detroit. Let's go to Detroit and house music, and in Chicago and house music. Disco, that was abandoned. Disco was abandoned, but it was abandoned by, there was a white backlash behind disco. So what happened, black people in Chicago, they reinvented disco and called it house music. They put a new spin on it. They made it more sleek. They made it more electronic. And they fleshed out some things and made it more cool. And they brought disco back with house music. So again, we took control of that. Again. This is why it's very important to re-embrace certain genres. Yeah, the white supremacists sabotage disco. But it's very important to re-embrace our music. And so now you got these brothers who do house music. They're capitalizing off that, which is good. I like to see us capitalizing off that. Said, did Bruno influence me to drop his time? No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all, because it doesn't sound anything like Bruno stuff. Y'all got to understand, I grew up on the Kashif, so this is stuff I listen to all the time. The reason why I did something like this time is because I've been looking for groups to make that type of R&B, and nobody's making it. And the thing is, I keep having to listen to all the old shit from the 80s. I'm like, well, shit. Let me just make some shit that I like. Let me make some shit that I want to hear. Because I look and wait for R&B groups to come out with some fly, player, funk, boom, bap, 80s type Mackin shit. I've been waiting on it. Every blue moon, some people might come close, but not all the way there. You understand? Every blue moon, some artists might come close to it. I'm talking about some of that hit the floor, Evelyn Champagne King, the shit that it comes on and you got to hit the floor, that type of thing. It's just not, nobody's really making that like that. You know, Bruno Mars and Tuxedo, people like that, a couple of cats out of the UK. They're coming close to it. You dig? So that's why, that was my influence. It was just a lack thereof. That's why the record sounds, its time is blowing so many people away. Because it doesn't sound like anything that's out right now. It doesn't sound like anything that's out. And a lot of people are comparing it to the old school, which it is old school. It's a very old school record. And it bumps. And the thing is, the whole vibe behind it is that old school player shit. And that was very important. Because a lot of songs out now, R&B songs, R&B artists is niggas with skinny jeans and aroma beads and niggas taking milk baths. And I'm not shitting on them. I mean, this is the new generation. And I don't shit on the young generation. But I want to see some of that old school player shit. Be personal. I'm like, how come we haven't embraced that again? I like that old school player shit. I don't want to see niggas singing and you in the desert in a thong. You're talking about you want your baby back, and I don't. All right, we need that macho shit. You got the R&B now is like almost mumble singing. If we're gonna be real, R&B now is almost mumble singing. We need that macho shit. You got the R&B now is like almost mumble singing. If we're gonna be real, R&B now is almost mumble singing. The niggas mumble and then sing a hook. It's kind of weird. I'm not knocking. Some of it sounds good. There's some R&B that I like, especially from the women like SZA and Her, and there's a couple of things that I like. But let's be real, the dudes. I mean, the dudes come out on stage with nipple rings and shimmering lotion and shit. I'm like, okay, I can't really relate to that. I can fuck with the women. The women are hardcore with it. The women are doing their thing, but the dudes are real coming out there with seashells in their braids and shit. I ain't knocking them. I know this is a new kind of generation, but where's that old player shit? Nigga, come on out there with a suit and you spit. You singing about, player shit. You understand me? I like Tank. Now, Tank is good. Tank is good. I like Tank. Tank is good. Like The Weeknd. And The Weeknd, I've been hard on the dude The Weeknd. And again, I ain't Luther Vandross or no shit. I'm a decent singer. And The Weeknd is good. But what's that? He's on the... I saw a video of The Weeknd. This nigga was on the beach. Tell me everything you like. Okay. And that song, didn't that song go platinum? I mean, that's the shit that's hot right now. That's cool, but where's the player shit? I want to be on the beach. I don't want to be on the beach smelling like coconut oil. With sand in between my toes. Where's the player shit? And I ain't shitting on The Weeknd. Shout out to The Weeknd. He might be a good brother. I know I'm hard on him. Where's the player shit? Something for the ladies and the players.
Got a home like Crow, don't be yo.